Let's cross live now to that conference in Manchester and join GB News' political editor Chris Urban. Chris, I believe you're with the heckler that interrupted the women's rights debate earlier. It all kicked off with Andrew Boff. Over to you.
Yeah, that's right. The concern about Reform UK does hang over this conference. 20, of course, I mean, that was the timing of those 20 defections was arranged by Reform UK to overshadow and draw attention away from this conference. But there is some drama happening too here in the conference hall. Andrew Boff is well known as a Conservative member of the London Assembly, been there since 2008. He's deputy chair of the London Assembly. He heckled, didn't he, Suella Braverman, I think at the time, the Home Secretary in 2023 in the same venue on the issue of trans rights, and he did it again today. Let's hear what he had to say.
Well, I've been to a session of the conference, and it was called a debate, and it was called Gender Critical, the meaning of sex. And it wasn't really a debate, it was curated hatred. There were no voices from trans people on the stage. There were no voices from the other side of the argument. And I felt I needed to address the imbalance in that debate. Why aren't they on stage? Why aren't you hearing their voices? How are they going to be included? You're talking about just exclude. What about including trans people and understanding that they have rights too? What we had in the conference hall today was one side of the argument with hateful little anecdotes in order to support their miserable case.
Well, that man, Andrew Boff, joins me now on the stand here at GB News stand here in Manchester. Andrew Boff, why were you saying there that this is a curated hatred to members of your party?
Yes, well, in the conference handbook, in the agenda, it said it was a debate, right? Now, it's a funny old debate when there's only one side of the argument.
So what's your complaint? The party only is now accepting the Supreme Court ruling, women and men, women don't have penises, men do.
You always expect Supreme Court rulings. I'm talking about what the party's done here, which is try to present just one side of an argument. And there are plenty of Conservative members who actually think that we should be inclusive of trans people. And so it said it was a debate. Yep. So it wasn't a debate. So I made it a debate.
Yes, and you're wearing your T-shirt now.
I made it a debate.
This is on the radio for GB News. Trans rights are human rights, your T-shirt says. Were you thrown out? What happened after those remarks?
I wasn't thrown out. I just commented where I thought a comment was needed.
And how did the members react to you? I couldn't quite see how they were reacting to you.
I couldn't because I was looking at the stage.
Well, they thank you for raising it, or they not?
I think certainly people in the walking around the conference were. Conference chamber is a self-selecting group.
No, it's not. Anyone can go in. I've been there enough times.
But you don't go in if you don't approve of what's being talked about. Unusually, I went in. Yeah, they could. But there's also some other attractions in the lovely city of Manchester that they decided they wanted to go to. Absolutely, it is. Well, so far. But walking around, I've had a lot of support from people because even if people don't agree with my view, they do agree with free speech.
Yes.
And a debate should have two. You do. And a debate should have two sides of the argument. You should hear the other side. There was no other side. And I just made it a debate. I tried to provide the other side of the argument.
I would have the lady behind me. Were you on stage with Mr. Boff? You were. Well,
yes.
I don't know if we can get a microphone to this lady here, but how do you respond to when you were being heckled? What's your name, please, madam?
It's Marion, Calder. I'm director of Women Scotland.
How do you react when Mr. Boff shouts at you?
He has absolutely the ability, I believe, in free speech, and he is entitled to his own views. I think we should be able to listen to alternate views, and maybe heckling from the floor is probably not the best way of handling discussion.
Yeah. Well, Andrew Boff, your response?
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't have needed to have heckled if the other side of the argument was on the stage, but it wasn't, was it?
Did you hear me say trans rights, transgender, trans women at all during our speech, or did you hear it from any other speakers?
I didn't hear about how you were going to include trans people in any decision.
Because it was about women's rights. Not a single one of the speakers on the stage said anything about trans.
Really? But it was specifically gender critical. and gender critical.
I disagree. It's women's rights.
Well, that was the title of the debate. I read the title. It said gender critical, and that is in itself. Then well, you didn't. My argument is not with you. My argument was with the party who put an item on that says gender critical, and they didn't put any trans people apart of it, because the gender critical ideology is about excluding trans people from public life.
Well, maybe the argument is with the party about the naming of things.
Oh,
but it was about women's rights.
I didn't heckle you. I
I
heckled the other two.
It was 3 times while we were actually speaking, and when I was trying to explain what was actually happening in Scotland and legislation, etc. And it is very disconcerting when you're actually having a singular male voice coming from the crowd.
Would you apologise, Andrew Boff, for heckling Marion and the others?
How do you know what my sex is?
Pardon?
How do you know what my sex is?
I can look at you and I make a gauge on the size of your hands. I look at your beard, and I will make a kind of decision.
Well, that's right. And that's how I decide to treat people, based upon what they look like and how they present.
How I treat someone is not really to do actually on their sex. It's about how they actually treat me.
And I respect how they identify.
Marion,
that's not how life really works. Women actually have to make decisions. You may be the loveliest person on this planet, I wouldn't know this. Or you could be a serial killer. You don't walk around with kind of statements on your head. Women may have to make kind of decisions about how they actually deal with the opposite sex, purely on just kind of being able to identify what sex people are. Now, and unfortunately, people don't go around saying I'm a good person, I'm a bad person. So women do have to make that decision on the basis of sex, because it's just self-preservation.
And absolutely, and the statistics would say that they've got nothing to fear from trans women.
Trans women are men, so there's nothing to actually show in any form of statistics that they are actually any lesser ability of offending. Show me. There's nothing. This is ridiculous. It's a bad conversation, because neither one of us are going to pull statistics out of our back pockets at the moment in time. But what we can both understand is that men are at the greater risk of women. I have absolutely no issues with trans men, which most of the general public would understand as females, coming and using our spaces, because they're female. I have no risk, no fear of risk for them. I have no fear of pregnancy or rape from my fellow siblings that may identify as opposite sex, but there's little risk. So I'm not worried about having trans men share my spaces at all.
Because your campaign is built on the idea of fear.
It's
of
not.
Trans
It's based on the idea.
The whole campaign is built on fear.
There you go. You give it away, because the campaign is actually built on sex, and the reason why women need to actually single-sex spaces. I have no fear of trans men who are female. I have the exact same fear of trans women than I do of any other men. It makes no difference.
And of course, wherever that provision of a single-sex space is, they can always choose to be single-sex based upon.
If they're a service provider and a workplace employer, you have to actually provide. Where it actually states the service is for females, it is for females. And for males, because we've also got to understand that males also entitled to their actual own services too, and our groups. I don't think it's fair that gay men's organisations are being targeted by young females that are identifying as being gay male. I think this is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm a member of quite a few gay organisations. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, then maybe you should be listening to other gay men's. Gay Men's Network, LGBT Alliance, there are many.
Yeah.
So they've got young females who are now identifying on gay dating apps, saying that they are young gay men. They are females.
So?
But this may not be an issue to you. You may be bisexual. For others, this may be really problematic.
Don't label me.
You mean that you're actually saying? If you're a gay man and actually saying
So
that you're
you
also
don't
identified
think-
with that you would actually be sexually attracted to a female, then clearly you're not, you mean homosexual, you're bisexual.
This is quite an interesting discussion. I love it when it's all about me. But actually...
Well, you did try to make it about yourself when you actually started kind of shouting at us when we were on the main stage earlier.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen that threat. I mean,
well, maybe you haven't, but others are, because it's not all about you, Andrew. There's other people involved in this.
Yes, absolutely there is. There's trans people who currently...
Are you trans?
It's nothing to do with you.
But why are you sitting there talking on behalf of them?
I'm not talking on behalf
You
of them.
shouted down at the conference this morning saying that you're actually talking on their behalf.
I'm not talking on their behalf. They can speak for themselves.
Well, clearly they didn't, because you actually are the one that actually kind of interrupted the conversation this morning.
Yeah, I appreciate
Chris,
you
let's
heckling
call time.
I don't worry about that.
Okay, I think we're... Andrew, if I may
the
say
real
so,
point is, it's the party that didn't give the voice to trans people.
You stop the voices of women.
I do not. Did I stop you today now?
You did your belt. You did your belt.
You've just had a spiel, haven't you? And I haven't interrupted you. So all these...
Thank you, Marion. Thank you very much, Andrew. Well, I think the party's learned a lesson there. Have that debate on the stage, in the some applause now from behind me at GB News. All happening here, Martin. Have that debate in a conference hall. Well, we don't mind at GB News. Whatever, free we are, the home of free speech.
Well, it's quite the impromptu debate there, Chris. Well done. I think he got his comeuppance there. I think that's what you call having your backside served to you. If you're going to stand up and heckle a bunch of women, listen to the women. It was a debate about women's rights. Why stop mansplaining your way through it? Maybe it's time for us men to take a day off or at least support women. Okay.